performance management and feedback system are fundamental responsibilities of supervisors because they ensure that employees perform their duties in alignment with organizational standards, institutional goals, and public service expectation. In public administration, kasi performance management is not simply about evaluating employees, but about guiding, developing, and supporting them to achieve both individual and organizational excellence. Supervisor must establish clear performance expectation, monitor progress objectively, and provide timely, constructive feedback to strengthen employee competence and accountability. Effective performance management promotes transparency, fairness, and continuous improvement, which are essential in maintaining public trust and institutional credibility. When supervisors implement structured performance monitoring and feedback system, they create an environment where employees understand their rules, improve their performance, and contribute meaningfully to public service delivery. At this point, I invite our presenter to discuss the key principles, tools, and leadership strategies involved in effective performance management and feedback systems. Go ahead.
Good morning, Doc, and good morning, classmates. Gumagalaw po ba yung presentation ko po?
Sige ma'am, nasa first slides po.
Sige po. So today I will be presenting and discuss about performance management and feedback system. So here's the learning outcomes. So after the session, we will be able to understand the importance of performance management and continuous feedback, distinguish annual reviews from regular performance feedback. Number 3, explain the role of performance management in public sector effectiveness. Number 4, describe the objectives and process of the Civil Service Strategic Performance Management System or SPMS. And 5th is apply the SPMS cycle and IPCR in monitoring and improving performance. So for the introduction, performance management is a long-established but evolving field. And while continuous performance feedback is not a new concept, it remains under research and under implemented in practice. So scholars emphasize that effective performance management goes
gumagalaw slides mo.
po. Ay, wait lang po, sir.
Wala po.
Hindi present. Okay na po.
Ito po, gumagalaw ba?
Yes, ma'am. Okay na po yan.
Nasa learning outcome po. Nakita niyo pa po?
Wala, ma'am. Blanco.
Black screen lang po, ma'am.
So, ito, ma'am.
Yan.
Yan po, okay na po.
Thank you. So, for the introduction, performance management is a long-established but evolving field, and while continuous performance feedback is not a new concept, it remains under research and under implemented in practice. So scholars emphasize that effective performance management goes beyond annual evaluations and should include ongoing feedback through the performance cycle. So however, many organizations fail to apply this consistently because managers often lack the skills or confidence to provide regular and constructive feedback. So the traditional annual performance appraisals are widely criticized for offering delayed feedback, limited opportunities for improvement, and unexpected evaluation outcomes for employees. In contrast, timely and continuous feedback has been shown to significantly improve employee learning, motivation, and performance. Research suggests that regular two-way performance discussions are more effective than one-time evaluations or even formal training programs. So the literature highlights continuous performance feedback as a critical but neglected area that can enhance individual and organizational performance, particularly in improving efficiency and accountability in the public sector. So next, performance management is a key pillar of public sector organizations and a central driver of public sector reform, aimed at improving efficiency and effectiveness in public service delivery. It serves as a strategic mechanism to ensure that public employees performing according to expected standards and contribute to organization's goals. Despite substantial investment in human resource development, only a small portion translates into improved organizational performance, largely due to weakness in performance management systems and poor transfer of trainings. So for the effective performance management, focuses not only on results but also on employee behaviors that lead to those results. However, many public sector organizations emphasize outcomes while neglecting behavioral aspects, so which remain understudied and poorly managed. A complete performance management process includes setting performance standards, communicating expectations, measuring and reviewing performance, providing constructive feedback, and initiating corrective actions when necessary. So while design systems promote clear objectives, open communication, and regular feedback, public sector organizations continue to face challenges, particularly in delivering timely and constructive performance feedback that supports learning and performance improvement. So, traditional performance management in the public sector, which relies on annual performance reviews, is increasingly seen as outdated. Annual appraisals often provide limited feedback, occur too late to influence employee behavior, and fail to recognize achievements in real time. So the system typically has only two contact points, the goal setting and final review, making it ineffective for improving performance. So research now emphasizes continuous and constructive performance feedback as a core element of effective performance management. Regular feedback supports employee development, reinforces positive behaviors, addresses negative behaviors promptly, and helps advance careers. And it fosters learning and performance improvement at individual, group, and organizational levels rather than merely evaluating results. So constructive two-way dialogue between supervisors and employees enhances self-regulation, motivation, and overall performance, making the organization more effective and its workforce more satisfied and productive. So in this slide, presents the measuring performance through the years by the Civil Service Commission and how the public sector performance management system evolves over time. So the Civil Service Commission was constitutionally mandated to adopt measures to promote morals, efficiency, integrity, responsibility among government employees. So through the years, the Civil Service Commission has implemented several performance evaluation and appraisal systems. So started from the year 1963, it is called performance rating. In 1978, new performance appraisal system. In 1989, it was called autonomy of agencies in developing their performance evaluation system. In 1993, performance evaluation system. In 1999, it was called revised PES and 360 degrees evaluation. And 2005, performance management system, office performance evaluation system. So, the past performance evaluation and appraisal systems that Civil Service Commission implemented over the years have largely focused only on individual appraisals, which were used for personnel actions such as incentives, promotion, and separation. However, they have not shown how employee performance has contributed to or hindered organizational effectiveness. So, to address the gaps and weaknesses found in previous evaluation systems, the Civil Service Commission recently introduced the Strategic Performance Management System, or the SPMS, after its pilot test in 2011. The SPMS incorporates the positive features of past initiatives. So the Strategic Performance Management System, or the SPMS, is a mechanism that links employee performance with organizational performance to enhance the performance orientation of the compensation system. It ensures that employee achieves the objectives set by the organization, and the organization, on the other hand, achieves the objectives that it has set as its strategic plan. So on the table 1, it shows that the SPMS shift the paradigm on the area of perspective from performance evaluation to performance management. Second is focus from activities and inputs to outputs and outcomes. Third is indicators from performance indicators to success indicators. Fourth is performance alignment from focus on individual to align individual to office organization. And last is the role of supervisor from evaluator to coach and mentor. So here is the SPMS objectives. First is to concretize the linkage of organizational performance with the Philippine Development Plan, Agency Strategic Plan, and Organizational Performance Indicator Framework, or OPIF. Second is to ensure organizational and individual effectiveness by cascading institutional accountabilities to the various levels of the organization, and to link performance management with other human resource systems. So the SPMS has the following basic elements. First is goals that are aligned to agency mandate and organizational priorities. Second is system that is outcomes oriented. Third is a team approach to performance management. Fourth is to forms that are user friendly and shows alignment of individual and organizational goals. Next is the information systems that support monitoring and evaluation. And last is the communication plan. And more importantly, the SPMS complements the results-based performance management system that is implemented by the Office of the President and the links organizational performance to societal goals. It is also linked to the performance-based incentive system, or the PBIS, that consists of the productivity enhancement incentive, or PEI, and the performance-based bonus, or the PBB. So the SPMS process follows a 4-stage cycle consisting the following. First is the performance planning and commitment. So during this stage, success indicators are determined. Success indicators are performance level yardsticks consisting of performance measures and performance targets. This shall serve as basis in the office and individual employees' preparation of their performance contract and rating form. Second is the performance monitoring and coaching. So the performance of the office and every individual shall be regularly monitored and at various levels. So monitoring and evaluation mechanisms ensure that timely and appropriate steps can be taken to keep a program on track, and that its objectives or goals are met in the most effective manner. Managers and supervisors act as coaches and mentors to provide an enabling environment or intervention to improve team performance and to manage and develop individual potentials. So third is the performance review and evaluation. So this phase aims to assess both offices and individual employees' performance level based on performance targets and measures as approved in the office and individual performance commitment contracts. So part of the individual employees evaluation is the competency assessment vis-a-vis the competency requirements of the job. So the assessment shall focus on the strengths, competency-related performance gaps, and the opportunities to address these gaps, career paths, and alternatives. Last is the performance rewarding and development planning. So the results of the performance evaluation or assessment shall serve as inputs for the agency's human resource plan. So which includes identification and provision of developmental interventions and conferment of rewards and incentives. So this is the SPMS rating scale. So the SPMS using a 5-point rating scale as follows. Rate of 5, which has an adjectival meaning of outstanding, meaning performance represents an extraordinary level of achievement and commitment in terms of quality and time, technical skills and knowledge, ingenuity, creativity, and initiative. Employees at this performance level should have demonstrated exceptional job mastery in all major areas of responsibility. Employee achievement and contributions to the organization are of marked excellence. So next is 4, very satisfactory, meaning performance exceeded expectations. All goals, objectives, and targets were achieved above the established standards. Third is the satisfactory, performance met expectations in terms of quality of work, efficiency, and timeliness, and then most critical annual goals were met. And then next is the unsatisfactory, performance failed to meet expectations and or one or more of the most critical goals were not met. And last but not the least is the poor, which is a rate of 5, meaning performance was consistently below expectations and or reasonable progress toward critical goals was not made. Significant improvement is needed in one or more important areas. So ito yung mga rating scale na nilalagay natin sa ating mga IPCR or OPCR. So here the example of the strategic performance management system. So performance standard is a set of specific measurable criteria or benchmarks that define the expected quality, quantity, and speed of work required for tasks. Equipment or employees' performance. It acts as guidelines for evaluating effectiveness, ensuring accountability, and setting clear expectations for success. So, naka-indicate dito yung quality, efficiency, and timeliness. So, sa amin sa BIFAR, ito yung basis or rubrics namin. Dito namin mami-measure kung anong ilalagay namin na grades or rating doon sa IPCR or OPCR namin. So like for an instance, dito sa output number 1, Project Procurement Management Plan or PPMP for the 3 sites legislated hatchery prepared, ang activities nito is 100% or blank target number of PPMP for the 3 sites legislated hatchery prepared with 3 to 4 revisions. So ang target number nito is ma-reflect siya sa IPCR. So kung ang target number nito is so ang pag no revisions yung PPMP, walang revision na ano, so meaning 5 yung ilagay na grade or rating for the quality. Sa efficiency naman, let's say 3 yung target ko and then achieve ko yung 3 na target, so meaning 5 or 100% yung grade or rating na ilalagay ko for efficiency. So while the timeliness, pag nasubmit ko yung PPMP on or before the deadline, 5 or 100% yung grade. Pag hindi naman ma-submit on time, so meaning 4 or 3. So that is how we measure our performance sa IPCR namin. So medyo mapadali yung pag-rate pag merong performance standard. So I'll be showing the sample of my IPCR in the next slide. So ito naman po yung PCR or Office Performance Commitment Review. An OPCR for a government employee maps out targets based on major final outputs, success indicators, and budget, usually rated on a 5-point scale. It requires at minimum sections for MFOs, targets, actual accomplishments, and ratings. In OPCR, naka-indicate dito ang lahat ng major final outputs ng opisina or sections under ng isang division. So ito naman yung IPCR targets. So IPCR stands for Individual Performance Commitment and Review. It is a crucial performance management tool used primarily in Philippine government agencies to evaluate employee performance. It outlines an employee's targets, accomplishments, and quality of work aligned with office goals and is usually submitted semestrally. So sa amin sa BIFAR, in the beginning of the year or unang buwan ng semester, nagsasubmit kami ng targets sa HR namin. This is our format, and then we indicated the output and success indicators or ilang percent or number of target ba ang pwede naming magawa for that semester. So sa IPCR or PCR, it divides into two functions. The core function, which has 70% of the total rating, and support functions, which has 30%. So ito naman yung IPCR rated or accomplishments. So after matapos ang isang semester, like for an instance, sa output ko na PPMP43 legislated hatchery prepared, meron akong target na 3 for the efficiency, and then sa actual accomplishment ko is na-attain ko yung 3, so 5 ang grado ko for the efficiency. While the quality, since no revision, walang revision ang ilalagay ko is 5. And then for the timeliness, so since hindi ako nakasubmit on time, so ilalagay ko is 4. So this is how we rated our OPCR. Naka-base doon sa performance standard. So for the conclusions, effective performance management relies on ongoing open performance conversations between managers and employees. Regular check-ins allow both parties to review goals, share feedback, and adjust performance in real time, reducing surprises during the final evaluation. And then these discussions promote self-reflection, learning, and personal growth for employees while making managers' final review responsibilities easier and more effective. So for feedback to be effective, it must be two-way and assured responsibility. Managers provide constructive, candid, and timely feedback, while employees actively seek feedback and respond appropriately. Regular check-ins, weekly, monthly, or quarterly, create collaborative progress updates and serve as inputs for the final review, fostering a culture of continuous feedback, learning, and improvement. So thank you so much. That would be all. Thank you for listening.
Okay, so performance management ensures that employees clearly understand their roles, responsibilities, and expected outcomes, which strengthen organizational efficiency and accountability. So in public administrations, supervisors must regularly review employees' performance to ensure that services are delivered effectively to the public. So let's say, for example, a supervisor in a municipal licensing office must monitor employees processing business permit to ensure accuracy, timeliness, and compliance with regulations. Performance monitoring helps identify strengths and areas that require improvement. So this allows supervisors to provide appropriate guidance and intervention. Employees who are aware of performance expectations become more focused and responsible. And effective performance monitoring strengthens operational discipline and improves public service delivery. Constructive feedback helps employees improve their skills, performance, and professional development. Supervisor must provide feedback in a respectful and supportive manner to encourage learning and improvement. So positive feedback also reinforces good performance and increases employee motivation. Employees who receive regular feedback demonstrate higher level of professionalism and accountability, and effective feedback strengthen workforce capability and organizational effectiveness. Again, effective performance management system improves organizational performance, employee development, and public service quality. When supervisor manage performance effectively, government services become more efficient and reliable. Let's say, for example, a supervisor in public health office who monitors staff performance ensures that patients receive timely and accurate services. This improve public satisfaction and institutional credibility because performance management also prepares employees for higher leadership responsibility, and the supervisor who implement effective performance systems strengthen institutional sustainability and leadership continuity. So strong performance management contributes to good governance and public service or public sector excellence. I just want to react on the Likert scale used in the IPCR and OPCR, no? Of course, no, I respect that. That's my own, no, that is my own perspective and research based. No? I respectfully recommended that the government consider reviewing the current Likert scale structure used in surveys and evaluation instrument, particularly the standard 5-point scale. The presence of a middle option often allows respondents to select a neutral position, which may not accurately reflect a clear evaluation, and it can reduce central tendency bias. So, you are now enrolled in a master's degree program, and you may suggest, no, to promote more decisive and meaningful responses, it may be more effective to adopt a 4-point Likert scale, where ratings such as 1 to 2 indicate dissatisfaction or needs or areas needing improvement, and 3 to 4 indicate satisfactory or acceptable performance, thereby eliminating the neutral midpoint. This first choice approach encourages respondents to make clearer judgment, improves data reliability, and provides more actionable insights for policy review and organizational improvement. Implementing a 4-point scale can strengthen the validity of feedback mechanism and support more accurate decision-making in government performance assessment systems. Tama po ba? And thank you, presenter, and good morning.